Hey everyone, welcome back to Owl Creek. I'm Cody. Today I'm going to go over my rabbit hutch on one more video, kind of put everything all in one video as far as the measurements and how it was built and kind of just give all the specs on it. I've been getting a lot of questions on sizes, how I did this, how I did that kind of deal. So I kind of want to try to wrap that all up into one instead of having that spread out on 2 or 3 different videos like I did. So first, how we've done this is we've got our top cages. We've got 3 holes up here. These are all of our does. Down below, in smaller cages, we've got our bucks on both sides. Then in the center, we've got a larger cage right here, which is just going to be a grow out cage for any kits that we're growing. I'm going to make another hutch that is just these bigger grow out cages like this right here. But what this is built out of is just some normal pine 2x4s. I used 8 of them. You could save on that part if you rip these down in half. That would cut your cost of lumber in half actually doing that. So I just didn't have a good means of ripping them down here. So the top cages for all of our does are 32 by 30. You can see in here, even with the nest box, she has plenty of room. So 32 by 30 is probably, it's bigger than what it needs to be, but that's all right. She's got plenty of room to move around, and even if there's 8 or 10 kits in there with her, she will also still have room to move and to get away from the babies whenever she wants. Now this size here, the 32 by 30 I just told you about, that is the same for all 3 of the top cages. So they're all equal. Then on the bottom, where we have our bucks, these cages are 26.5 by 30 for each one of the bucks. The larger grow out cage is a 42 by 30 cage. What my cages are made out of, they were all purchased, all of the material was purchased from Kluberton's Equipment online. I think they're out of Wisconsin, I do believe. And all of my cage wire is galvanized after weld. That is extremely important that it is galvanized after the weld. That keeps it from rusting up very quickly. This will last a lot longer than your standard wire. So the wire for the floor, let me open this up here. The wire for the floor right here, if you can see that, kind of put my finger there to give you that is a 1/2 inch wide this way by 1 inch long. 14 gauge. Galvanized after weld. The side material right here for the door and for the rest of it is 1 inch by 2 inch. But as you see down here, it's all baby saver wire. So this keeps any of the kits from crawling out through this, because if it's just a standard 1 inch by 2 inch, babies, if they're born on the wire, will crawl right through that and will fall to their death. So you always want to build them out of baby saver wire if you're ever going to have any babies in those cages. All right, so something else that I've been asked about quite a bit is these metal pans. This is actually just some old barn steel from whenever we built our barn. I kept it. I figured I could use it for something later on. It came in pretty handy. One thing that I don't like about it is I should have cupped the ends, cut them a little bit longer, and cupped them kind of to keep any of the poo or anything from falling down on the ground, coming over the edges. But from the top to the bottom, these have roughly about a 5 to a 6 inch fall. I don't know if you can really see that on the video, but that works well for dropping all the urine down into the gutter system behind. You can see there where it's kind of flowed down it over time, and then it drops down into the overflow and into the bucket. and that is for the top and for the bottom rows. You can see here it drops just as well, goes into a gutter, and that gutter flows the opposite direction. If you can see back over there, it drops into that bucket. What are you doing there, bud?
Look.
Careful.
The ears are on the very, very top.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can put them there.
Okay, so something that I've been asked quite a bit is what would I do different or what would I improve now that I've been using this cage for a while? One thing for sure, I am vertically challenged. So is my wife. So being that I stand about 5'9", having to get up in these top cages requires that I step on a big brick.
That I'm standing on right now.
Yeah. So one thing I would do different, instead of using a 5-gallon bucket, which I'm gonna fix this whenever I move the cage out to its permanent location, instead of standing on the 5-gallon bucket, I would just get a big, like a moving tub or something that you can buy at Walmart that still holds quite a bit. That way you can still use the hose and flush the system out whenever you need to clean it. And it would allow me then, being shorter to the ground, I could cut the legs off and lower the whole cage system. So I will be doing that in a future video. It'll probably be a few months because I have to finish my lean-to on my barn first.
And then where will we put the rabbits when you cut the things off?
Oh, it'll just take me a few seconds. It won't take long.
No, I mean when it goes down. Like when the whole cage goes down when you cut the legs off.
Oh, it won't. It won't. I'll show you what I mean whenever I do it. Okay. Why don't you shut the... Okay, so another thing I would do different now is instead of doing a 30-inch deep cage, I would do a 24-inch. Yeah, it cuts down on the rabbit's room a little bit, but like in this cage right here, the grow out cage, if I'm going to reach back here in the corner, I've got to stick my whole shoulder up inside here to get to the back corners. So I would definitely go with a 24-inch next time. Well, I would, except I've already bought the material to do my next cage, so I'm going to go ahead and go with the 30, but for future planning, I will definitely go 24. And really the biggest problem that I have with this style of cage is, like right now, I've got a nest box in with one of my mamas, so I put hay in there. She's pulled a lot of fur. Whenever you're going to clean, all that hay and fur comes down into the gutter system, just like it should by design. But then whenever it gets to where it has to go down the downspout hole, it usually gets clogged up. So at that point, I have to take something and actually just shove it down into the hole to push it on down to get it all the way through into my bucket, so that way I can get rid of it. Or find some sort of scoop, like a gutter cleaning scoop, you know, and then pick it up that way and throw it in your bucket. But really, that's the only big problem that I have with this setup. The watering system works great. It's just 5-gallon bucket, drilled a hole through it, put some caulk around it. I ran my water hose up through here, and it works just like it should. You can see the water pouring out there. Plenty of pressure. I refill the bucket about every 2 to 3 days, depending on the temperatures, so it lasts quite a while, and it stays pretty cool being here inside my barn in the shade all the time. So that's all that I had to go over. Just a real quick video on how I built it, what I did. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'll go over that. I will try to get you an answer on how I did this and any other different processes that you may have questions on. All right, guys, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it cleared up some of your questions. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. See you later.
Bye.